Jackie. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Super excited to be kicking off our third GradTrack program. So congratulations to all of our undergraduate mentees that were selected for this program. So congrats on joining our GradTrack family here. And then welcome to all of our GradTrack mentors, our amazing grad students here at Purdue that have joined the program to share their insights and their experiences and everything here. Like Jackie said, I am Dr. Janet Beagle. I'm the Senior Director of Graduate Programs here in the College of Engineering. And so I work very closely with Jackie and Lexi, and then we've got some other folks on our team as well that do all kinds of things for our graduate students and for our undergrads who are preparing to go to grad school, which is where all of you fit in. And so if you think about kind of where we're sitting, we're located in the Dean's office in the College of Engineering here at Purdue. We've got 14 schools of engineering. So just about any discipline of engineering that you can think of. And then the college dean's office oversees that. And so that's where we sit. We sit at the college level and then work very closely with our 14 schools across the area. And so over the course of the next many sessions here of GradTrack this fall, you'll have a chance to be introduced to some folks we'll try to pull in. And then, of course, we've got an amazing assortment of graduate student mentors here that you're going to have the opportunity to connect up with and get to know. And that's one of the things that's really unique about this program is the opportunity to engage in small group discussions and one-on-one with these graduate students that can talk through their experiences, share their advice, and just get that real insight from those people that are on the ground. I know some of you are still kind of getting a feel for if grad school is something you want to do. And this is a great program to start to explore that, learn a little bit more. And some of you already know you want to go to grad school and you want to just know how to do it to the best of your ability. And we're going to be here to help you with that by the end of this program, whether you are getting ready to apply for undergraduate research or whether you're in the process of applying to grad school. You are going to have a completed application ready to go. You've got a whole family here now that's going to help support you through that and walk you through every step of that process, help you review your materials, make sure that you're putting your best foot forward, and just be ready for whatever that next step is for you, whether that's undergrad research, whether it's grad school, or whether you kind of go through this program and decide, you know what, I don't know that is the direction I want to go. I want to go a different direction. That's fine too. We're here to support you, to celebrate you and the direction that you want to go. So just, I know I've only got a couple minutes of introduction and I can talk a long time, but I did want to give kind of just one piece of advice, if I can, as you kind of think about going forward based upon kind of my own experience coming through grad school. So I've been at Purdue here now almost 20 years, which sounds like a really big number to say. But I've been working with graduate students and helping undergrads prepare for grad school for a number of years. But when I look back at kind of my own experience coming through, so I was the first in my family to go to college. And I can still remember having a lot of conversations with my parents about whether it even made sense for me to go to college and where I should go and what that looks like. You know, they weren't familiar with the process. My older brother hadn't gone to college, you know, so there wasn't anybody there that had kind of gone through the process before. And I still remember kind of having those conversations and wondering, like, should I go? Is it something I want to do? I don't really know anything about it. And then I think about where I am now and looking back at that, and it kind of blows my mind that there was ever a question of like, should I go to college? Because now I can't imagine, right? I work at a university. I went all the way through. I've got a PhD. And now I try to help other students that are kind of starting that journey and experiencing that and learn and navigate that. And so as I think back through those different steps, right, that very first question, like, should I even go to college? Like, how do I do that? And how did I get from there all the way to where I am now? And the answer is I just kept going through each door that opened, right? You know, and that first door that opened was to kind of figure out how to even apply to college and go from there. And then that started a whole chain of events that going through at the time, it was a lot of kind of figuring out as you go. But when I look back, I can see each of these doors that kind of opened along the path that got me to where I am today. And so that's kind of my one piece of advice. GradTrack is one of those doors that just opened for all of you, right? And so this is a door that you can walk through and see where it leads. And this can be an amazing experience, an amazing opportunity for you to connect up. You can come out of these next few weeks with so much more information, so many more opportunities and options and connections than what you have right now. That door is opening. walk through it. We're here to walk through it with you. We're here to guide you. Take advantage of it. And don't be afraid to ask questions, reach out to your mentors, get to know each other, like in your circle groups, but then also, don't be afraid to reach out, branch out, and get to know each other across the circles as well. And don't ever be afraid to reach out to anybody on the leadership team here. I'll put my email in the chat. You are always welcome to reach out to me. I will be at several meetings. I won't be here as often as Jackie and Lexi. They're really your point people for this program, but I am absolutely here to support all of you. And you should never hesitate to reach out if there's something that I might be able to help you with or talk through. So again, congratulations on being here. Welcome. Super excited to be kicking off this year's GradTrack program. And yeah, just good luck. Walk through that door, see where it goes. And we know that really great things are in store for you. We've had a lot of great stories come out of this program, and we're hoping that you're going to be the next great story that we see come, whatever that is for you. All right, so Jackie, I'll turn it back over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Janet. I'm throwing some confetti love. Gotta love those reactions. So thank you. Thank you. Very excited. And thank you for that great introduction, Janet. Knowledge is power. Now we're going to just, again, transition over very quickly. I'm going to kind of dive through expectations, some quick welcomes, some quick logistics. And then, like I said, we're going to scoot you off into your breakout rooms with your mentors. So I'm going to just start screen sharing, and then we will get going. So thank you again, Janet, for kind of that introduction. These are some of our happy, awesome mentors, graduate student mentors from our mentor training a couple weeks ago. And, they are all super helpful, and they all like to have a little bit of fun too. So just know that your GradTrack mentors are current grad students. They are accessible, and really they're here to support you. So like Janet mentioned, you guys are part of our third GradTrack cohort ever. So we're really excited, again, to continue to, lend to the mission of GradTrack to build and cultivate this community and prepare the next generation of grad students, which are you, grad student leaders. And I've said this before, but I really do recommend approaching GradTrack for all the mentees out there, undergrad student mentees. I encourage you to approach GradTrack like a mini course. You see this as this is your Monday jam for the fall semester. Again, we really aim for all of our undergrad students to kind of prepare either a graduate application or an application for a summer research experience. And so here you can kind of see that our undergrad students are coming from all over the country, from Puerto Rico to California, Texas, up to Washington. Very, very exciting. And our program, like I said, is still kind of growing, still relatively new. So what that means is that if there's anything that you guys are encountering, reach out to me and Lexi. We want to hear from you. If there's something that's particularly working well, both mentors and mentees, let us know. If there's something that you're struggling with, then let us know, because we want to make sure that, we can continue to make the best experience for this program. So yeah, we're all zooming in from different places, very exciting. And we have goals, right? We have goals for our grad students to kind of share their experiences and grow professionally in their development as a grad student, to lean into community, get to meet you guys who, we have some current mentors who were GradTrack mentees, which is so cool. So again, to continue to build that community. And for undergrad students, we want you to get something out of it. So we encourage you to set goals. And, one important aspect of our GradTrack program is building that next generation of graduate students. And we do also want to focus on the importance of diverse backgrounds in research and in graduate school. And I want to be really intentional here. We at Purdue, we do care about engineering and about including we do care about diversity and about including everyone in engineering, especially students from kind of different backgrounds, genders, orientations, and identities. So, one of the things that really is important that I've recognized through my time in higher education is that the most difficult research projects requires people coming in from different backgrounds and having different experiences and ideas, and really to tackle those really challenging questions. So we're really excited and thankful to have our outstanding graduate student mentors. And we're really thankful to for the time that you're putting in to this program as mentees. And so we're really stoked to, to help guide you as you're thinking about and more intentionally about your future and career as that next generation of graduate student leaders. So in terms of the structure of our sessions, many of you have seen this before, but before each kind of session, we'll encourage you to kind of watch some pre-watch materials to get kind of a baseline of knowledge on the topic of each week. And then we'll kind of meet like this as a full group for no more than 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the session. Then, like I said, we'll bump you out to breakout rooms so you can talk with your mentors in their circles. And then typically we'll wrap up and have an introduction to kind of our assignments. This is kind of the flow we're going to work through this week, but in future weeks, we'll actually kind of flip this and we'll dismiss you directly from your circles. So I will, again, reiterate that next week, but what we'll do is we'll bump you out to your circles and then we'll pull you back into a full group for the end of this session tonight. And then if you haven't opened it already, attached to most of our emails that we're sending is a GradTrack action pack. So here you can see a screenshot of the first page here. On the left side, you'll see different dates, and then you'll see the topic. So you'll have the topic of each session for each meeting, and then we'll have different mentee actions and mentor actions. So if you're ever not sure about what we're doing, this is a great guide. Anything that's in gold is part of our GradTrack trophy, which I will share a little bit more details about that in a second. At the very end of our GradTrack action pack is a whole list of questions that we really encourage you to go through. So mentees, like you can ask these to your mentors in breakout rooms. If you're like, if you're not sure like where to start and asking questions, this is a great place to start. And mentors, you can pull this out and you can just kind of run through this as well in your circles. We do encourage you, like, ask any questions that come up. This is a great starting point, but definitely feel free to go in the direction that your conversation moves. And we definitely want to encourage our mentors to lead this discussion and really kind of share your experiences. So our expectations for undergraduate students, for our mentees, like Janet mentioned, you were selected for this program. We actually had a whole selection process where we had previous GradTrack mentors kind of go through and read all of your applications, and kind of that's how you were chosen for the program. So we really encourage you to show up and engage. This is more than just like a video or webinar that you're going to watch later. Attendance is really important. So please, show up and engage and ask questions of your mentors in your breakout room. So again, be curious, be hungry. Okay, I do have it here. The best mentee is a proactive mentee. You'll hear me say that over and over and over again. We encourage you to communicate with your mentors. So, one thing we'll have you do today is figure out what mode of communication is best. Maybe that's email. Maybe that's our Circle platform. Maybe that is text message or GroupMe that your group sets up. So, communicate with your mentors, communicate with your peers in the group, and set actionable goals. You'll get out of this program what you put into this program. We encourage you to complete assignments on time, be respectful of your mentor's time. And we do expect kind of this mentorship, GradTrack relationship to be a two-way street. So mentees and mentors, you guys will learn from one another. So very, very exciting. And then we have our Circle platform. So this is the first time we're actually ever using the Circle platform. The screenshot on the left, you can kind of see a screenshot of the web browser Circle platform. So if you haven't joined this, please make sure you join it. You will have there's different spaces on the left, so you can jump into your circle. What I have here circled is where you're going to submit any assignments. They'll be up on that top navigation. So definitely do that. On the right here is just a screen grab of the platform itself. So you can kind of see that there's a general channel. We'll try to post stuff in there, but definitely feel free to use this on your mobile device. Then you can also navigate down to your circle. So here I'm showcasing circle 4. If you hit the little top button with the caret, you'll actually see the different space links, and everything will get submitted out in a Google Doc. So you can see that there. And then if you jump back and use the hamburger nav, is a deadline kind of button, and you can kind of see the different assignments that you have to submit. And there's also a button for feed, which will also kind of share that similar information. So definitely don't hesitate to jump over to the Circle platform. That'll be a really helpful place that has a lot of useful information. And all of these different assignments and your attendance at each session kind of builds into this really cool GradTrack trophy. So this is actually a time where you can earn points as your circle, as your team. And you can earn points by completing assignments and by showing up to meetings. We'll actually calculate a score. So every person in their GradTrack circle and team can earn points. We recognize that each circle has different numbers of people, so it'll be normalized per person on the team. At the end of the semester, the circle or team with the highest number of points will win some awesome bragging rights and swag. We are also going to do highest score for an individual as well, because we recognize that sometimes, there's a great team dynamic, but we want to also encourage you guys to kind of work on things kind of individually too. And so if you want to keep track of what your score is, we'll have a Google Doc scoring sheet. So there's a link here. We'll share these slides after. You can access. We'll also drop it in the Circle platform, and you can kind of just see the breakdown. So if you're like, oh, wait, I thought I submitted my poster. Why aren't I getting points? You can reach out to Lexi or Inza, and he can help with that. So know that that's there. Does anyone have any questions on any logistics for GradTrack? Anything I just reviewed? You can drop in the chat. You can raise your hand. You can unmute yourself and ask. Is everything pretty standard with what I just went over? I see George's thumbs up. Cool. Okay. If you have any burning questions, you can definitely drop it in the chat. I know Santiago just asked, if we can't make it to a meeting one day, will they be recorded? We always encourage you to attend meetings. And so if you have an excused absence, we will share the meeting recording. But if you don't have an excused absence, can't bank on that. So please, please, please show up unless you have an excused absence. If you can't make a meeting, then we always encourage you to meet one-on-one with your mentors so that you can kind of catch up on the material and make sure you're kind of getting that information. But we're not recording within the mentoring circles. So you'll get this little snippet of what we review, and you're going to miss a whole lot if you can't make it. So, we do encourage you to be here. Okay. So now I'm going to very briefly touch upon some insider tips about setting goals and making a timeline. And so this is something that you're actually going to do as an assignment for our next meeting next week. So I want to review just some helpful tips. And so, we all know setting goals is important. But, one question is, why should I set goals? And goals can really help you navigate that process from an undergraduate student juggling a lot of courses your junior, senior year to becoming a master's or PhD student. And so tracking can really, help you stay focused on what's important and kind of reaching your goals. And it can help you also set actionable goals, thinking about kind of project management. There's many careers that will require project management. So why not start with kind of planning for your career? And then, one thing you can do by setting goals in this GradTrack program is that, you can learn which ways of goal setting works for you, and learn, what works, what doesn't work for you in terms of your career. Goal setting actually also helps you really identify potential obstacles and strategies for how to overcome those. And it can also help you set more realistic goals and stay positive along the way as you're working to that journey. And again, right, you have the power to design that journey. And what I love, this is one cartoon, but you might have also seen, that graph where it's like from point A to point B and it's a squiggly line and it goes all over the place, right? Like no one's journey is the same. You're going to go through your highs, you're going to go through your lows. Your goals are going to look different than your peers' goals. Your goals are going to look different than your mentor's goals. But what's really, there's some fundamental concepts that are really, really important throughout this journey. And so you can kind of see on these different colors, exploring your options, planning where you want to go, and then being competitive. So, that's everything from exploring, understanding what your goals are as your own person, knowing yourself, understanding your options. That's really kind of where GradTrack fits in, understanding your options, getting experiences, building your skills and recognition. GradTrack kind of sits at the heart of this diagram right here. Getting in front of employers, focusing on your work experience, applying, and then practicing for interviews. All of this is part of the preparing for grad school and that graduate school experience. So again, we're going to encourage you to develop some goals that work for you, and you'll tweak them along the way, and that's okay. But setting those goals is really, 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 really important. So I'm just going to go through what your goals might look like from this program. So again, today you're going to brainstorm some of your goals with your circle. And I really encourage you, like I said, to think of your career goals as kind of a project with deliverables. Like this is the project of your professional development and training, right? And your GradTrack assignment for the next week will be to write down and share some of those goals. And there's a couple strategies and tools that you can use. Some of you might be familiar with these, but some of you might not. And so one of those is Gantt charts. So looking at different tasks along a timeline. So you can see one here. For me, like my go-to are to-do lists. Like I live off of to-do lists with deadlines. And another thing might be making an action plan, right? So similar to a Gantt chart and to-do list, but maybe you have different tools that kind of keep you on task or certain micro assignments and tasks within a bigger project. And so again, finding what works for you is really important, not only for kind of preparing for your career, but then also you'll understand what works for you in your future career. So what should your goals look like? So here's just a fun, SMART goals, or make your goals smarter. So specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, time-based, exciting, and rewarding. And, again, we have structures in place that through our assignments and the GradTrack trophy that will help you start to kind of, tick away and outline and get a little bit more focused in on these smarter goals. But, today I think we'll encourage you to think about what other goals you might have that will help you advance professionally and personally. And again, those are going to look a little different for each and every one of us. So here's just a quick action plan template. We have some templates that Lexi will share with you. I think he's dropped those into the Circle platform, into your assignment folders, but we can also share those with you via email after. And so here's just kind of, again, an outline, right, of you identify a project or problem, a goal, and then an action plan, kind of with all of these different bullet points. And then you want to look at, how are you going to, prove that you were successful, and how are you going to track and evaluate that process? So, one thing that's, I think, relevant for most of us is if your project or problem is applying to grad school or summer research, maybe your goal is to submit a completed application, right? And they always encourage you to be early. So maybe your goal is to submit a completed application a week before the deadline. The different actions you want to break into tasks. You need to recognize that's not just you involved in this process. You might be asking faculty for letters of recommendation. You'll have mentors through GradTrack who will review your documents. So identifying stakeholders is important. Recognizing that timeline is important, right? Order of steps, time of year. You're going to be juggling other classes if you're I think all of you are still currently in school, right? So whether that's your senior year or whether that's other responsibilities that you have through different leadership activities. So you're going to be juggling that in your different timeline. And recognizing that there's resources, right, that you can put towards each step. So we'll talk a little bit more about like application fee waivers, so you can apply to grad school for free. We'll talk about Google searching for those application fee waivers, putting together a list of universities and different faculty you might be interested in working with. And then another step in this project or action plan is understanding potential barriers, right? So one of the things that I see that has really held up some of our students' applications in the past are having our students wait for letters of recommendation from faculty. So how can you schedule extra time knowing that this is a potential barrier? How can you make sure that you are scheduling things between your classes and exams and not being overwhelmed in a given week? So there's, understanding your potential barriers can help you make a more effective action plan. And then, thinking about outcomes and success. What does success look like for you by the end of the GradTrack program? How will you say I was successful, right, when you finish your senior year and think about your next step? We want to be part of that journey. And then again, tracking and evaluating your progress along the way. So our GradTrack mentors are there as a resource. You'll meet with them this entire fall. And then there's check-ins. You can do one-on-one check-ins with your mentors. You just have to schedule a time to meet with them. There's different assignments for different tasks. One thing you can look at the end is, how many schools do you apply to? You want to apply to some grants? Were you able to do that? So, and one of the cool things of our program is of the first year of GradTrack seniors who applied to grad school, in our first year of our program, all of them were accepted into a graduate program. And so this is, again, you were selected to GradTrack because you have, and we see your potential and strength for grad school. And so now it's really time to set some goals, to lean in to being a GradTrack scholar in this mentoring program, and to build your community for success. And I really want to note that, GradTrack's community and its goal is grad school. So, we consider it a success whether you attend grad school at Purdue or another institution. We really want you to find your best fit for grad school. And so this is just kind of step one in the conversations. So again, if you learned nothing from me in this first session, stay goal-oriented, please. What I will do is I'm going to stop screen sharing. And if you guys have any questions, we can do that. And then I will share with you the agenda. And actually, we'll take a screenshot and I'll share with you the agenda. And then we'll move out into breakout rooms. So any questions on anything I just chatted? Yeah, George.
I guess I just kind of have a question about just like the engineering department at Purdue wise, like how does that track kind of look like? I know that at different institution wise, they usually just have like some students go straight into their PhD, and then along the way, if they want to, they can have their master's. But at the same time, some other institute, they just have them go straight to the PhD or just their master's, which is a very separate thing. How does that kind of look like at Purdue?
Yeah, that will really vary from discipline to discipline. So for each specific engineering discipline, they might have a slightly different answer to that. So, but typically if programs have a direct PhD, meaning that you can apply directly from your undergrad into the PhD program, there's typically a path for you to get a non-thesis master's along the way. That being said, some of our programs, like I know our Astor program sometimes recommends you come in and start as a master's student and then progress to the PhD, but that can really vary between program to program and even how much experience you have coming in. So hopefully that's helpful. And
yeah, I guess, go for it.
No, I was gonna say, and also this is great to chat about with your mentors and your circles, because I tried to pair students with similar disciplines as much as possible. So you should be able to kind of really ask that of your mentor. And if you can't get an answer, then reach out to me and Lexi, and or mentors, feel free if you have questions, ping me and Lexi, and we're happy to share some guidance there. So yeah. Any other questions before we jump out into groups?
I kind of had a question. Sorry.
Mhm.
You mentioned like stakeholders earlier. Does that have an effect on like how you write out your application or statement of purpose? Like, do you tailor it to like signal to those stakeholders or their background if it aligns with yours?
Yeah, so you're asking, so mostly I'm thinking about stakeholders in the application process. So you might need like a faculty member at your institution to write you a letter of recommendation, right? That's going to be a little different than who you're writing to, which is going to be faculty on an admissions committee. So yeah, you definitely want to tailor all of your kind of your statement of purpose, which we'll get to, and all your documents for the institutions that you're applying to for grad school. Did that answer your question? Was I not getting that?
Mostly, I think it came from like just me misunderstanding a little bit of what you meant when you said stakeholder. But yeah, that makes sense. Thank
Yeah,
you.
when I meant for setting up your goals, it's my idea of stakeholders was who are you going to be waiting on?
Mm.
Right? Are you waiting on yourself to write that essay? Are you waiting on faculty member X because they're writing your letter of recommendation? So understanding like who's part of your process, I think is really important. Who can you, like you can control yourself, but you can't control others, right?
Right.
You know, maybe scheduling a meeting with a faculty member at a different institution that you're interested in for grad school. And that might be something, you know, that they might be a stakeholder, right? Because maybe you're looking at working with them for research. So that can look a little different. So it's starting to identify who you need to be reaching out to, I think is an important thing. And that's something that you can start to look into and start setting up for your goals. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Okay. So I'm gonna take a multi-page screenshot. So if you, I love taking a screenshot of all of our cohorts because you guys are gonna grow so much over the course of this program. So if you are, if you're able and interested in kind of sharing your video, then please feel free. And what I'm gonna do is we're all just gonna keep smiling for a couple minutes and I'm just gonna take a whole bunch of screenshots. And then I'm gonna Photoshop magic it into one big Zoom image later. So, so if you guys want to all smile, make sure that the mouse is, yeah, okay, cool. And ready? And then I'm just gonna keep paging, right? 1, 2, 3, cheese. Oh, DJ, yes. That's okay if you don't have a camera. Ready? 1, 2, 3, cheese. Great, great. We're gonna do another one. Cheese. Keep those smiles. You guys are awesome. First day of the semester, right? Right? Okay, second page. Let's see. Ready? 1, 2, 3, cheese. Yeah, keep it up. One more time. Cheese, cheese, cheese. Awesome. You can tell I've had a lot of coffee today. Tea. Okay, cool. We are good. Okay, so I'm going to screenshot kind of what we're doing today, just so you guys can know what's going to happen in breakout rooms and how we move into breakout rooms. And then we'll get going and let the fun begin. What we're going to do, we just went through the presentation, we did the group screenshot. We're running a little bit late, but that's okay. We'll do this. So in your circle, you're gonna, take some time to meet your mentors and get to know your circle peers a little bit better. So many of you and all of you should have made an About Me poster. These you submitted them within the circle platform. So what we're going to have you do is jump into your breakout rooms and then go around and you can screen share your own poster and kind of talk through your poster, share your poster with your circle. If you have any issues, GradTrack mentors, you should be able to access all of the posters that were submitted in the circle platform, like I showed you earlier under the A1 assignment 1. So someone else can also screen share the posters as you walk through. But what I recommend is you kind of go in and you screen share and you walk through. I would say take about 5 minutes person, no more than 5 minutes, or else you will not have enough time to get through everything. So 5 minutes person, feel free to ask questions about from the person who's presenting, get to know them a little bit more. Then you're gonna kind of shift into setting goals and discussing kind of your timeline for the next 8 to 12 weeks of the GradTrack program. So take about 5 minutes to start brainstorming some individual goals with your group. Then I really want you to talk about what is the best way of communicating as a group this fall. So like I said, we have the Circle platform. You can email. So talk over what is the best way of getting in touch with your peers, with your mentors. You want to kind of have a game plan by the time you end. And then one thing we're going to encourage you to do is work together to develop a team name and a team crest, symbol, flag, however you want to do it. It's basically going to be a PowerPoint slide, and you can kind of jazz it up in any way you see fit to represent your team. So feel free to, we'll drop a link into the chat so we can access those. And, you know, mentors, we're going to encourage you to plan one-on-one meetings between mentors and mentees for the semester. And then basically how we're going to have you move on into, and then we'll pull back, like I said, and wrap up with assignment information around 8:20. So Lexi will close the rooms around 8:20. You guys will come back here and we'll do one final slide to wrap up. And how you guys will move into your breakout rooms. Once I stop screen sharing, you'll be able to see a breakout room button along the bottom, and then you'll be able to select your room directly. Your room will be your circle number. If you're not sure what circle you are, I'm going to drop that into the chat so that you can go find your name, figure out what circle you are, but hopefully you all know what circle you're in. So you should have the ability to screen share within your circle group and move directly over there yourself. So let me drop some fun things into the chat so that you have all this information, because that's always helpful. And then let's see. So, okay, there's a lot of, this could be a very long chat, but hopefully you'll have it, and you'll have it once you move into your breakout room. And then, so if you're not sure, we'll likely be reaching out to you for, to make sure that your address is correct. So we can mail that to you, and, or if you're on Purdue's campus, you can come pick that up. We will do a monthly newsletter, just kind of keep us all on the same page. And again, share some fun successes and news and actions for the month. And then we have a couple events so you should definitely keep on your radar that we'll likely be talking about. The Graduate Diversity Visitation Program this fall. And then we also have a virtual event where you can come meet our faculty, and you can come meet some of our administrators for our graduate programs. And that is the Purdue Engineering Virtual Graduate Showcase. So just things to start thinking about. I would also encourage you to, if you're like getting through everything real fast and you're like, I want more, I'm hungry, feel free to start writing any of your documents. So in the GradTrack action pack, there's kind of some writing guides for your statement of purpose or some research essay. There's a lot of great links in there. So just take a read through your action pack. Another thing that you likely received before we started the program was an email from Janet about a study. So like I said, GradTrack is in our third year, so we always want to assess it and make it better. That's part of the research process. And so we do have a research study to kind of learn how you're learning and to assess the effectiveness of this GradTrack virtual mentoring program. So we're looking to learn more about your experiences. We have a survey that is before you start the program, and then we have a survey at the very end of the program. And again, the goal of the study is to determine how GradTrack prepares participating undergraduate students for grad school and whether it assists in the professional development of our current graduate student mentors. So for mentees, it means that you can, participate in at least one of 3 surveys that we have. Mentors, we'll have a focus group, and you can participate in at least one of 2 surveys. Its participation is voluntary. You don't have to do the survey by being part of the GradTrack program. And it has participation in this has no standing and no benefit on your kind of participation as a GradTrack participant. And so there's a little bit more information there, and you probably saw it in the email. But by participating in the survey, you can receive a $10 Amazon gift card as an incentive. So, and those are kind of decoupled. So if you've already done this, then thank you. If you haven't done this, then we'll drop some links into the chat for you to do this after. If you have any questions about what this assessment or survey is, let me know. But like I said, this is an optional thing that you can do. It just makes us make the program better in future years. So with that, I am really excited to see you guys next week. I'm going to drop these links for the GradTrack surveys in the chat. If you've already done this,